All right, migrant update. The numbers, and they come from the Homeland Security Office itself. So far, 253,000 deportations since Trump took office. Okay? And that number is up to July 5th. And immigrants being held in ICE custody, 57,186. Now, will all of them be deported? I don't know. And we'll get to that in a moment. Disturbing story out of New England. Okay, here's what happened. A guy named Chris Landry, 46 years old, legal U.S. resident, 5 children. He works in manufacturing. He lives in Peterborough, New Hampshire. He goes to Canada on vacation. He drives up there. He comes back through the port of entry of Houlton, Maine, which I've been to. It's the furthest point north in Maine. He presents his credentials to the Border Patrol in Houlton, Maine. Okay? They say, you're not allowed back. Traveling with 3 of his children. They let the kids in, and they're older, so they go back to New Hampshire, but Mr. Landry is still in Canada. He is being denied entry back here. Why? Because he, in 2007, had a pot beef. Not a big one, but he had marijuana possession. All right? And that was 18 years ago. Since that time, Landry says he's been to Canada many times. No problem. But now there is a problem. Now, I looked at this and I said, this is wrong. If you want to bring him before an immigration court, okay. Okay. If that's what ICE wants to do, I don't object to it. I think it's a waste of money. But on a humane basis, man, has 5 kids. And they're all U.S. citizens. They all live in New Hampshire. And you can't get back? No. Sorry. No. That is cruel. And it doesn't protect me or my family or you or your family. Does it? Okay. Joining us now is probably the most astute immigration lawyer in the country. And I'll back it up. He represents Melania Trump and her family. He did represent John Lennon when the U.S. Department of State tried to deport him on pot charges or drug charges. Michael Wiles comes to us from New York City. He's also the mayor of Englewood, New Jersey. So he's a busy guy. All right, so I'm assuming Melania is not going to be deported, right? She's okay, counselor?
She's safe, Mr. Riley. And
okay.
It was my late father, Leon Wiles, who passed away a year ago, who actually represented the famous Beatle against the Nixon administration at the time. But
right. Quite a legacy.
We're still shepherding his practice forward on Madison Avenue.
Okay. So I'm this guy in Chris Landry, and I come to your office, or I send a representative, I send, my wife or whoever in and say, look, you got to get me back into the USA. This is ridiculous. What do you do specifically to solve this problem?
Thank you. Thank you again, Bill, for having me on. Listen, the Controlled Substance Act of 1971 schedules marijuana as a Schedule I drug. As bad as it gets, such a conviction has catastrophic consequences even for green card holders. Departing after a conviction, even with a green card, he was a green card holder, the gentleman, since he was 3 years old, subjects him to what's termed to be inadmissibility charges on his return. Now, that means that Mr. Landry can be returned to the United States. He has a green card, so he's entitled to a day in immigration court. I want you to know, a few hours ago, I had a U.S. citizen who consulted with us because he was concerned about his being returned to the United States. He would be heard in a federal court. But Mr. Landry would be eligible for a waiver. They don't have to mandatorily incarcerate him if they want to. The law allows them when he comes back because it's a controlled substance crime that he was convicted of. But what we would be doing would be a few things. First, We would look to see if we could have the crime vitiated. We would look to see whether or not there was a constitutional problem.
All right, but don't get just right now. He got to get back to Peterborough, New Hampshire. Okay.
And he's entitled to a day in court.
All right. So what would you do? And he should hire you. So you would do an emergency petition right away, try to get it in front of an immigration judge? Is that what you would do?
He would come to the United States. He would go off.
But they won't let him in, Counselor.
No, they will let him in. Somebody has to negotiate that they admit him.
All right, when you say they, you pick up the phone. Who do you call to get this guy back?
We call ICE, and we ask for them to have him return to the United States. He does not make a formal admission, and they issue what's called an NTA, a notice to appear, in removal proceedings.
All right. So you call him up on a phone, or is it an email or a registered letter?
We would call up ICE because of the profile of this matter and ask.
Would you get anybody on the phone, though, immediately?
Yes.
Are the people there to answer your call? You would?
Yes, we would go up the chain of command. The decision has to be made.
So you're confident if this guy hired you, you could get him back within hours?
Within a day.
Within a day. All right. He's already been out 2 days. He's already been out in Canada 2 days. Okay.
Which is unconscionable for a green card holder with 5 U.S. citizen children.
That's why I'm doing this story. That's why I'm doing it. You know me. For many years, I don't want chaos in our immigration thing. I think Joe Biden is the worst president on immigration in our history. By far. There's no even close second. And I've been saying this for decades, that you've got to regulate immigration into America. But this one comes under humane, right?
Of course.
Now, here's my next question.
Family reunification is a bedrock of our immigration policy.
Okay. The left, the hate Trumpers, are now portraying Homeland Security, ICE, as having no interest in humanity, fairness, human right, or any of that. Or all I want to do is kick everybody out. Is that true?
It's not true. I'm a former federal prosecutor myself. I'm actually a proud Democrat and a mayor, a 5-term mayor in New Jersey. I don't like some of the things that they're doing. We're representing a wine company in Edison, New Jersey that was raided a few days ago. I don't like the people that they're picking up or how they're doing it. But this president is returning on his promise to go after those hardened criminals. When they realize there aren't as many bad people in this country, they are expanding the net. I don't like how they knock on doors. Even in my city, they're knocking on doors and they're saying, it's the police. And they say, what do you want? Well, we have gifts for your kids. And then they go in and they arrest somebody.
All right, but there's always abuses. I mean, that's not a policy.
Not a policy.
But I want to get the bigger picture here. So let's review. Number one, if this guy hires you, you think you can get him back in 24 hours. He would go before then. He'd have a hearing in an immigration court to review.
We wouldn't have a hearing. We would negotiate.
All right, you negotiate his status.
And then he would end up having to be heard in an immigration court.
And you're confident you would win the case?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Bill, this is a gentleman with 5 children, U.S. citizens.
I got it. I'm just trying to get
remedies available to him to defend himself.
Okay. So right now, he's not getting good advice from anybody because they could have already called you. And there are a lot of other immigration attorneys, skilled ones in New England, who could have done the same thing.
Of course. And he could have done this years ago. He should have done this without leaving. Right. Each time he came back, he faced this jeopardy.
Right. He didn't protect himself as the way he should. All right. So now after this segment, which will go worldwide, I kind of think that what you just said will happen. I can't guarantee it, but we'll do a follow-up tomorrow. And we appreciate your time very much, Mr. Wiles. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.